So let's just settle into our meditation posture and just land. Hopefully, some of you had the day off and have been able to rest. And just feel and check what's going on in your mind. And just notice, without judgment, what's arising. And just be curious, look at it. Oh, okay, so there is something. Take a nice deep breath and relax. And check your sitting posture, feet, sits bones, hands. Align your shoulders with your hips. And if this is available for you, to very gently imagine lengthening your neck and just gliding your head back to align with your shoulders. So you have a very nice sitting posture right there without terribly much effort. And then just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. Just very gently lengthening. And the head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, the tip of the tongue, on the roof of the mouth, relaxing the jaw. Bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, back of the head, the ears, the inner ear, the temples. Back of the tongue. Release any tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders, and allow your shoulder blades to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes, and bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling. A little bit cooler than the air you're exhaling. And if there are any sounds in your environment, just remember to allow those sounds to be there. Try not to investigate with your mind. And then notice your thoughts as they arise and abide. And again, without judgment, just be objective and have a look inside and see what's going on in there. And then try not to engage or follow a story or judge yourself. Just remember you're human with a human heart that's developed habits over many lifetimes. So just be curious about what's there. And then again, we just put ourselves on the bank of our river. Just relax and watch that river flow on by without taking us along with it. While we're free from the river while we're sitting on that bank. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, all your loved ones, very, very dear friends, your spouses, your children, your close companions. And then there's those people in your life, all of our lives really, who we have difficulty with, some more than others. And then there's those people in our life who we're kind of indifferent to. They're strangers. Always really good to remind ourselves of this friend, this enemy, and this stranger can change place at any time. So it's super good to try not to take those people we love for granted. They may not always be there. So we need to create the merit to keep them in our lives. It's one of the reasons we follow our teacher's advice. We do long life prayers for our teachers. And then think of all these people of our life. They're all equal. They're all equally deserving of our concern. And why is this? Because they're all wishing to be happy, wishing to be free from suffering. They all have this incredible capacity for this enlightened light. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process it's a psychological one, basically. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can change that by creating positivity with our mind. And so here we apply the 4 opponent powers. So the first of these is the power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of future suffering. We all understand what it means, how it feels. So logically, it would make sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of this suffering. And then regret our delusions, our anger, our attachment, our jealousy, our bitterness, our grudges, our disappointments, our judgments. This is the cause of why we harm others. And think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and he's your guru. You can imagine your teacher, or your spiritual mentor, manifesting. This is the mind of that person, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like your enlightened potential, born out of your delusions, yet untainted by them. And Vajrasattva has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened, excuse me, by the practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, And we have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy. This is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. So here we will be using visualization and recitation. So we start with the purification of the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming from a hose or from a big old waterfall like Niagara Falls, from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so the next is a purification of the speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And then you can think all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking bad behind others, about others behind their back, getting other people to agree with you. All this is purified by this nectar and this mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Saka A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Saka A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Saka A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible that you could do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same. If you walk into a dark room, switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So you can just imagine as the light hits your heart chakra, it's the same. All the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your depression and attachment and jealousy and grasping and bitterness and grudges and all this kind of mucky stuff that we have going on in our head, which leads us to take action that's harmful to others, it's all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta mebova sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your suffering, all of our suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom and compassion and bliss. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time you can imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. And if you wish, you can imagine you can recite a couple of mantras each for the visualization of the body and of the speech and of the mind. Or if that's too busy for you, you can just imagine light and nectar just pouring in, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negativity energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sabasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sabasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sabasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And again, just rejoice in your efforts turning up today, this kind of public holiday. And then your effort in coming night after night after night. It's greatly appreciated. It's wonderful for you. It's wonderful for the group. So rejoice in that and also rejoice in each other's practice and effort. And then the progress that you've made over the past, year and a half, 18 months, more than 18 months now. I think we're coming up to 2 years almost. So rejoice. And then bring to mind something that you'd like to keep working on, some habit, and give yourself a timeline. Maybe you can set a reminder on your phone to perhaps work on that thing for just a little bit during the day or in your morning or evening meditation. And this aspiration, this wish to change, gives us strength. We have to make a decision. Gives us determination and courage. Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also just think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Kalamzo Rinpoche. O Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway Tenzin Kyong Pelway Kunzo Dog Por Chog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to a drop Padag Sog Dulaje And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we go, gone like a dream. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Mary, for hosting. Lots of love, everybody, and I'll see some of you tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.